Hello everyone, I am Kajal, your bio teacher, and today we are going to discuss the 6th chapter of the 10th standard students, photosynthesis. We are going to continue with this chapter, and today we are going to discuss the regulation of stomatal opening for letting in carbon dioxide. You know that in the leaf the minute pores are present, the fine holes are present that are responsible for the exchange of gases in the leaves as well as for the water movement and other works they are performing. So they are also regulating the carbon dioxide amount in the leaf for the photosynthesis process. How the stomatas are now that minute pores are known as stomatas. How stomatas are open and what is their function we will discuss. First thing, I will show you two diagrams. You are seeing here A diagram and B diagram. In this one the stomata is open, okay, and in this one the stomatas are closed. Now this is the structure of a stomata. In the stomata, this is stomata, and around the stomata two guard cells are present, and in this guard cells the nucleus is present, and in the cytoplasm of this guard cells the chloroplast is also present. And this stomatas are having this having a outer wall as well as the inner wall, and this is known as the inner wall and this is known as outer wall, and this is known as stomatal pore of a, and these are the epidermal cells. So this is the open structure of a stomata, and this is the closed structure of stomata. Performing, that is if we talk about the photosynthesis, that is allowing the carbon dioxide to enter inside the leaf for the photosynthesis process. And in the stomatas two phases occur. First phase is known as light dependent phase, or daytime it occurs. Second one is known as dark phase, or as well as light independent phase. Now what do you mean by that? Daytime light dependent phase means daytime, in which the stomatas are open, and because they are open, so that they will trap the water as well as the carbon dioxide, and the photosynthesis process will takes place along with the transpiration process also. When it is opening, few amount of water also convert in the form of vapors, so photosynthesis always occur along with the transpiration. Second is known as a dark phase, in which the stomatas are closed due to the prevention of water loss. They are preventing the water loss in the night time, and at that time they are closed. Next, the opening and closing of stomata also facilitates the water movement in and out. In the last chapter we have already discussed. Second thing is that what is the location of chloroplast? Chloroplast is present in the cytoplasm of plant leaves, or as well as in the guard cells also. And on the basis of this opening and closing of stomatas, the two theories are there. First is known as potassium ion concentration theory, and second one is sugar concentration theory. Now at the daytime the chloroplast is present in the leaves, and that chloroplast photosynthesize, and when it is photosynthesized means the photosynthesis process takes place. There is the production of ATP, the energy currency of the cell, and that ATP pumps the potassium ions into the guard cells, and that guard cells makes the guard cells hypertonic. Now the guard cells become hypertonic. That means the water from the cells is drawn inside the stomatas, and the stomatas become turgid, and as well as because the water is flown inside, then the cells of the become turgid. The more turgidity will be there, and in the night time this process is reversed. That means opposite reaction takes place, because at that time the photosynthesis process do not takes place. Second thing is that second theory is sugar concentration theory. Now at the daytime during the photosynthesis process, plants also make their food, means in the form of glucose. Sugar production is there, and the sugar also increases the osmotic pressure now, and due to the osmotic pressure endoosmosis takes place. That means the water draws inside the leaf, and due to that water the photosynthesis as well as the stomata will open, and photosynthesis process will takes place, and they will be remain open. Next thing, closing of stomata. At the night time, now what will happen that whenever because in the night time the water content is lesser there, or as due to any reason if water content is lesser in the plant, then due to the shortage of the water content, as well as when we sprinkle some salt on that, which osmosis takes place? Exoosmosis. And due to that, the plant or the leaf become flaccid, as a result closing of the stomata. So this was the opening and closing of stomata. Second thing is that process of photosynthesis. Now what is process? Photosynthesis, from the lower classes you are reading that photosynthesis is a process in which water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and chlorophyll is necessary, and sunlight is trapped by the chlorophyll of the mesophyll cells. Now in your in the stomata, in the leaves, sorry, the mesophyll cells are present, and the outer surface of the leaves are trapping the sunlight. And in the mesophyll cells, if we talk about palisade mesophyll cells, the upper layer of mesophyll cells are trapping that sunlight, and due to that sunlight, they are showing the photosynthesis process. Next thing, how the carbon dioxide coming in the plant? Through the stomatas. Stomatas are taking the carbon dioxide from the outer surface by diffusion process, because in the outer surface the carbon dioxide is present in the excess amount as compared to the inner one. Now water is trapped by the roots of the plant, and by that way these product reactants are came in the plant, and afterward the photosynthesis process takes place, and in this one the glucose formed as well as a few amount of water is also released with the oxygen. So this was the photosynthesis process, and this was my topic. Hope you understood. Discuss about the two phases of the photosynthesis. First is known as a light dependent phase, and the second one is a light independent phase. Light dependent phase, that means that process takes place in the presence of light, and this reaction takes place in the thylakoids of the leaves, because in the thylakoids the chlorophyll pigment is present. This process takes place in two steps. First step is activation of chlorophyll. When the leaves are trapping the sunlight, it is activating the chlorophyll pigment for the process, for the reaction. Second thing is that splitting of water. The water molecules are breaking down into the other molecules in other ions. When the energy is trapped by the leaves, the water molecule is converting into the H positive ions, as well as the oxygen molecule is releasing in this reaction, and that is known as the photolysis process, as well as a splitting by light process. Next, what are the end products of this photolysis process? The hydrogen ion that is released, that is formed, that is a product of this separating of water, that is joined with the NADP and DP ion, and it is forming. So the hydrogen ions are picked by the compound NADP and forming the NADPH. The oxygen component is given out as a molecular oxygen, and the electrons are used in converting the ADP in the form of ATP, the energy currency of a cell. And this process is known as phosphorylation, as well as because this process is happen due to the use of electron energy. So this process is known as photophosphorylation. Next process is light independent phase, light independent on dark phase. In this process, the conversion of glucose into starch takes place. Whenever the glucose is formed in by the photosynthesis process in the plants, as soon as it is converting into the starch, because starch is the insoluble form, and several glucose molecules are transformed to produce one molecule of the starch, and this process is known as polymerization. This process, and this is happened in the light independent phase of a cell. Next is adaptation in the leaf to perform the photosynthesis process. First thing is that large surface area. The maximum light is absorbed whenever the large surface area of the leaf is there. More the surface area, more will be the light trapped by the leaf, as well as the photosynthesis process will be more. Leaf arrangement. The leaf arrangement should be at right angles so that it will be obtain maximum light. Cuticle and upper epidermis means to say that they should the cuticle layer should be transparent so that they will allow the the light content to enter trapped easily, as well as to water to move. Next, numerous stomatas. The maximum number of stomatas will allow the maximum exchange of gases. The thinness of leaves, that reduces the distance between the cells for the rapid transport. The chloroplast because the concentration in the upper layers of the leaf to obtain the light energy quickly. Extensive vein system for rapid transport and from the mesophyll cells, and that is more important because by that way the rapid transport of the light will be there. The end results of the product, the photosynthesis process, what are the end products? First is glucose, water, and the third thing is oxygen. Now glucose is a simple sugar glucose that is formed in this process, and afterward it is converting into the starch form, that is insoluble form, and also afterward it is converting into sucrose and used in synthesizing the fats, proteins, etc. Water is produced in this process and may be reutilized in the photosynthesis process. Third, oxygen is the product of this process, and that is oxygen needed by all the living organisms for their respiration, and they are using it for the respiration process, as well as afterward the living organisms are taking oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide again reused by the plants for the photosynthesis process. Utilization and synthesis of the food and its a translocation. As I told you that the glucose content that is formed in the plants, that is converting in the form of starch, insoluble form of the starch for the temporary period, and at the night this starch content is reconverted into the soluble sugar for the processes, and afterward what is happening, the phloem tissue is present in the plants. That phloem tissue is responsible to send this starch content and this glucose content to the other parts of the plant, and this process is known as translocation. Factors affecting the photosynthesis process. There are two type of factors: external factors and internal factors. External factors are light intensity, carbon dioxide concentration, temperature, and water content. Light intensity and carbon dioxide concentration. More the light intensity as well as more the concentration of the carbon dioxide, the more will be the photosynthesis process. And they are also means to say that the lesser will be the light intensity, the lesser will be the photosynthesis process. Temperature. Now temperature, up to extent the temperature is facilitating the photosynthesis process. Optimum temperature is 35 degrees Celsius and maximum 40 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is above this temperature, it is destroying the stomata of the leaves, that is responsible for the for affecting the photosynthesis process, and afterward the photosynthesis process do not takes place. So optimum temperature is 35 degrees Celsius, till that the photosynthesis process takes place. Water content. Now the lesser will be the water content, the lesser will be the photosynthesis process, because the water content that is used by the roots of the plants, that from that water content 1% of that water content is used for the photosynthesis process, and rest one is used by the plants for the transpiration process, and that is also affecting the photosynthesis process. Internal factors. Now chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the nutritional deficiencies of the mineral, and due to that they are causing the loss of chlorophyll, and hence that are drop in trapping the solar light, and if the solar light will be not trapped by the leaves, the photosynthesis process will not take place in that. Protoplasm is known as the living matter of the cell, and that also reduces if there is a reduced rate of photosynthesis the reduced rate of photosynthesis has happened due to the dehydration of the protoplasm, also due to several reasons. Structure of leaves. The thickness of cuticle, distribution of stomata, size of leaf, they are influencing the amount of light and amount of the carbon dioxide entering in the leaves. Next thing is that experiments of the photosynthesis process. There are several experiments for the photosynthesis process. First is destarching and removal of starch. In the lower classes also you have read that whenever we are placing the plant, in the dark room for the 24 hours to 48 hours. It destarch the leaves of the plants, and this is known as destarching of the leaves. Next, first test is to leaf for the starch. Iodine test is there. In this one we are dipping the leaf in the boiling water to kill the cells. Next thing is that we are boiling this leaf in the methylated spirit, and for the removal of chlorophyll pigment. And whenever we are placing it in the hot water to soften it, and when we are dipping it in the iodine solution, this leaf is turning into the blue black color. Blue black color is the indication that the starch is present in the leaves. First experiment is to show that the chlorophyll is necessary for the photosynthesis process. Now for this process we are destarching the leaves firstly. Afterward we are placing the plant in the sunlight, and after few hours we are plucking one leaf from that plant, and we are outlining that paper, green part and non-green part, and afterward we are testing the leaf for the starch, means iodine test takes place. And after iodine test we are seeing that few part of that leaf is turning into blue black, indicating the starch is present, and few is brown in color. That means whenever we are kept that plant into the sunlight, the photosynthesis process takes place there, and as well as the glucose is formed there, starch was present. To show that sunlight is necessary for the photosynthesis process, we are putting, after destarching after destarching the leaves, we are putting the black tape over the leaf, and after that test we are observing that the part we have covered with the black tape that was brown in color, means indicating that the photosynthesis process not takes place in that part, and rest part is converted into blue black. That means the photosynthesis process takes place, and by this experiment we had shown that the light is necessary for the photosynthesis process. Next is to show that the carbon dioxide is necessary for the photosynthesis process. In this to show the carbon dioxide is necessary for the photosynthesis process, take a plant with the destarched leaves. Afterward we are inserting a part of one of its leaf into the conical flask where the potassium hydroxide is present, and leave the plant in the sunlight. After few hours, test the leaf for the starch. You had seen that the half part of the leaf that is kept under the potassium hydroxide, because the carbon dioxide was not present there. That part of the leaves, in that part of the leaf, the photosynthesis process not takes place, and the remaining part of the leaf, in that the photosynthesis process takes place. And this experiment shows that the carbon dioxide is necessary for the photosynthesis process. Next experiment is to show that the oxygen is produced during the photosynthesis process. In this process we are taking the hydrilla plant and we are keeping it under the water and in that we are testing it. Firstly we are taking the thistle funnel, we are covering that whole plant in the thistle funnel, and on that thistle funnel we are tilting that test tube, and after few hours we are observing that the air bubbles are coming in that test tube, and after testing we came to know that gas that is produced during this hydrilla plant is the oxygen gas. And this experiment shows that the in the photosynthesis process the oxygen is the byproduct of the photosynthesis. Oxygen is produced. Importance of the photosynthesis process: two importance is there. First, provides food. Photosynthesis process provide food to whole organisms, living organisms including humans, animals too, directly and indirectly because by the food chain we came to know that. Firstly, plants are making their food. Rabbits, grasshoppers and the herbivores are taking that plants as their food. Afterward, the next one, the carnivores are eating that animals, that insects, and they are taking them as their food. And at the last, the carnivores means the tertiary consumers, the hawk, they are taking that organisms as their food. By that way they are interdependent on each other, and the plants are providing the food to all the organisms directly and indirectly. Next thing is that provides oxygen. The oxygen is the byproduct of the photosynthesis, and the whole living organisms are taking that oxygen, and they are not supposed to live without that oxygen. Carbon cycle now. What do you mean by this carbon cycle? Carbon cycle means the organisms as well as the plants are totally interdependent on each other. First, the photosynthesis process. In that photosynthesis process, the green plants are taking the carbon dioxide from the air, okay, for the photosynthesis. Next, food chains. Now by that photosynthesis process, they are plants are making their food, and the consumers are taking that plants as their food. Next, respiration. Whole the plants and animals are respiring, means they are taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide again gone to the atmosphere, and from the atmosphere again that carbon dioxide is used by the plants for the photosynthesis process. Next is decay. Decay is also the process by which the decomposers are decomposing the dead bodies, or as well as the other remaining dead plants. Okay, and in that process also carbon dioxide is produced, and that is also going to the atmosphere. Combustion, for the burning, whenever we are burning fuel as well as wood or fossil fuels, in that process also carbon dioxide is produced, and that carbon dioxide again going to the atmosphere. Next is heating limestone. The heating, whenever we are heating the limestone, a certain amount of carbon dioxide is released by that process, and that process, that carbon dioxide is also used by the plants for the photosynthesis process. So this was the carbon cycle, means we are taking oxygen from the plants, and we are giving out the carbon dioxide to them, and by that way we are interdependent on each other. So this was the topic. Hope you understood. Thank you.